final
I'm just
thought?
going to say something about You Are My Friend, because this
Please.
is one of the poems in ModPo that changes every time I come back to it and I read it completely differently, or I see a new kind of vellum overlay of the
Mm,
poem.
mm,
And this time I'm seeing this kind of entrapment and subjectivity. And, there's this litany of you statements. And then, the poem has created the you and everything that adheres to it.
mm.
But at other times I read this poem biographically because I've read a lot about Niedecker. So I don't know, this is one of those poems that I'm always endlessly unpacking.
My final thought is about the You Are My Friend, and also kind of relates to the question at the beginning about whether we should look at a poet's other poems when we're reading one poem. But when I read You Are My Friend, I get kind of stuck on the image of the mending kit and wondering what needs to be mended. But I think that kind of calls back to the other poem where she's learning a trade. And so in that poem, the trade is poetry. In You Are My Friend, I feel like it's also referring to poetry kind of as like a kind of mending.
Well said. Thank you. We're going to go back to Gab, who's right behind you, followed by Dave.
The You Are My Friend poem made me think a lot about the theme of loneliness that was in some of the poems this week, and I got the vibe that the poet is very lonely, but in an empowered way, where she realizes that she is the only one that can mend herself. She is the only one that can take herself fishing. She is the one who will nourish herself, pleasure herself, if that is what it might be. But there is a tinge of just self-empowerment and acknowledging that at the end of the day, like, she is her best friend, which I thought was really
Pretty cool.
badass. Yeah.
Thinking about You Are My Friend, I just want to point out that it feels very American reading it. Maybe most of all, I'm a gardener. Maybe some of you also are. The viburnum plant is pointed out, the high bush cranberry. It's a very American plant. Some people call it possum haw. There are really great names for this plant. It's vivid and specific. I'm interested in this course as we identify poems in their Americanness, kind of what gives them that, and not just because the poets themselves are American, right? What adds them to the American canon. And so I'm trying to feel out those flavors. Yeah.
I just wanted to say I really enjoyed that poem, You Are My Friend. It's inspired me to be my own friend. I guess going into my senior year, I didn't realize how lonely it would be because all my friends that I was so close to, they all graduated. And so now I'll go a whole day walking through Locust and I don't recognize a single face. So I'm trying to recognize my own face and kind of take back what I think friendship means to me and myself and figure out what I enjoy, what hobbies I like, what interests I have, poetry being one of them. So I'm very glad to be in this class and here with you all today.